Last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers stunned the Boston Celtics in a comeback victory led by Donovan Mitchell's 20-point fourth quarter. But while the Cavs only escaped with the win because of Mitchell's burst of scoring, it was Darius Garland who served as the unsung hero for his gritty defensive effort. Kenny Atkinson has said that there's no way the Cavaliers can totally hide Garland defensively in big games, so the only option is for Garland to rise to the occasion and get the job done. And Garland has done a stellar job of winning his individual matchup throughout the NBA season, quickly becoming one of the more underrated defenders for players of his size.
I'm no punk, so if y'all want to switch and try to X me out and try to just hunt me out, that's cool. I ain't no punk though.
We saw the Celtics repeatedly attack him with Jason Tatum, but Garland managed to hold his own and even forced Tatum into a few misses at crucial points of the game. The Cavalier strategy was to switch everything and challenge Garland to fend off the Celtics' onslaught all on his own, because the Celtics have cracked the code by going 5 out and destroying teams behind their drive and kick game. But if you switch every action, you can avoid giving them any momentary gap that comes from hedging, and you can keep from allowing any space for a pull-up 3 that happens when you're playing in a drop. So the switch keeps you in front of the ball with a fighter's chance at dictating the possession. The Cavs understand that Garland is at a huge size disadvantage in this matchup, but he can muck things up by playing hard, physical defense and running Tatum off the line. One of the key results from this game is Tatum only attempted 1 3-pointer in his 13 possessions against Darius Garland. Slowing down the Celtics' offensive machine, even if only for a few possessions, was the challenge that Garland had to accept, and he did so with flying colors. Garland was feisty all night long, hounding Tatum on the ball and forcing him off the 3-point line. Now Garland might not have a size advantage, but he does have the luxury of an elite backline of defense behind him. So on this play, Garland's able to play high on Tatum and funnel him into the teeth of the defense where Mitchell and Mobley are waiting for him. Rewinding this one, we can see Tatum has Horford on an open drive and kick, but part of what makes this matchup interesting is Tatum was seeing red every time Garland switched onto him. Because with such an obvious advantage, it felt like common sense for Tatum to go at Garland one-on-one. But this tunnel vision played straight into Cleveland's hands, and for a team that predicates itself on winning the math game, Boston really dropped the ball in this one. Tatum was forced into a bunch of difficult mid-range jumpers, and that's exactly what the Cavs hoped for. Trading inefficient 2s for 3s is how the Cavs ultimately stormed back into this game, and again, look at how hard Garland is working to make everything a rock fight for Tatum. There was a lot of shoving and pushing in this matchup, but Garland just kept coming back every time, and over the course of a full game, that's gotta be annoying to deal with. Tatum thought he'd be walking into easy scoring opportunities, and instead he's trying to ward off a bulldog. And now with the game hanging in the balance, Garland continues to keep Tatum away from the 3-point line and into some fall-away 2-pointers. These are shots that you'll live with if you're the Cavalier defense, because while the Celtics are grinding out possessions late into the shot clock for difficult 2-pointers, Donovan Mitchell is going scorched earth from downtown to lead a roaring comeback. Mitchell scored 20 points in the fourth quarter, dealing Boston a taste of their own medicine with a barrage of 3-pointers. And still, the Celtics continued to fall for the same trap, going back to a one-on-one against Garland, and this time Garland manages to get consecutive stops with the game on the line. You can say that Tatum just missed an easy bunny right here, but a full game of Garland roughing him up and being physical clearly took Tatum by surprise. The Celtics assumed they could easily target Garland, but this came at the cost of getting away from their usual offensive strategy. Again, all Garland can do on these possessions is make himself tough to pick on. I'd say he accomplished that goal by being a consistent thorn in Tatum's side, drawing him away from the Celtics' bread and butter, and instead lulling him into a shoving match for a toss-up battle the Cavs will take every time. Boston has done a fine job of forcing their opponents to bend the knee every night and play their brand of basketball. But Darius Garland and the Cavaliers managed to reverse that role and put the Celtics out of their comfort zone. Now I'll be fair in mentioning that neither one of these teams has been at full strength for either of their matchups this season, but the early results are showing we could eventually be due for a great 7-game series between the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference.